According to my calculations, if you take a square and make it circular, it'll be wheel-shaped. By the 9, I think I've reinvented the wheel. Actually, you can't have reinvented the wheel because it's quite impossible.
Humans have been reinventing the wheel ever since the wheel started to be reinvented, which is a real roundabout way of saying no one's entirely certain of who invented the wheel. Some sources point to Mesopotamia. You know, that one place near the
Euphrates River.
They primarily used it for pottery, because unlike what the Flintstones taught us, no one thought to take the wheel, rotate it by 90 degrees, attach it to a pair of axles, and then slap a ridiculously large price tag on it. Until Anatolia thought of it. They ran the numbers on this equation, where they concluded that circle ruled better than square. They even added little spokes to their wheels, because having less wheel meant having less wheel to fix. They were quite simply on a roll with these inventions. The Romans then took this one step further and added rims. Sadly, not those kinds. These kinds were meant to wrap around the wheel for extra strength. Boring. But perhaps what was even more boring was the amount of time that passed before any kind of real advancement in wheel technology occurred. That is, right up until around the 19th century, where these fine gentlemen contributed to producing the pneumatic tire. Or I suppose tire with a Y if you don't happen to speak in freedom units. These pneumatic tires, which were made using vulcanized rubber, were made for bicycles and these newfangled wagons with engines, which somehow still managed to run on horsepower. But after that tire-sized explosion of wheel reinvention, a multitude of tire companies emerged. One of them even had a little marshmallow-looking fella that would give out gold stars to restaurants that managed to cook good food. This combination was kinda like that Supernatural and Scooby-Doo crossover episode, where I was a little confused by it, but it weirdly makes sense. Because the real reason for the Tire Man's gold stars was for people to decide if it was worth driving to that restaurant to eat there. It's sort of like the modern day Yelp, without the irrationally angry customers. Somewhere in between all of this mess of history, there were humans who were sporadically throwing wheels at all variations of their problems. Mechanical advantage, flywheels and pulleys. Tell the time, numbers on wheel. Crush grain, stone wheel. Win a war, boatload of wheels. Compute things, thinking wheels. Hungry, cheese wheel. In today's day and age, the closest we've come to reinventing the wheel are at the bottom of suitcases. Or particle accelerators, which are basically just giant wheels on their sides used to mold and shape the structure of particles placed on them. Which sounds a lot like a pottery wheel. Somehow we've managed to come full circle.